Now let's talk about the browser. This is one area where it badly disappoints. Pressing on the URL bar does not select the entire URL. It puts the cursor to the front. You have to often double click it or triple click it just to get it all to delete, or press the X. It's just two presses instead of one, and it annoys me really badly. Yes, you can download ICS Plus browser from the market and it works quite well, but this shouldn't be an issue with the stock browser. So searching is inconvenient because you don't have that permanent search bar or a search button. On the Galaxy Nexus you have a permanent search bar, which I did enable in Apex Launcher just because it annoyed me so much, and I wish they put in a search button since they used capacitive keys instead, and a menu button for that matter. This button just sucks, and having no menu button is terrible, but searching is very inconvenient. Also, no status bar. If you get a text message, you can't answer it. You'd have to use the multitasking menu. Very annoying. It also has a 6-tab maximum. I mean, I've heard ridiculous things like 9-tab maximums on some stock browsers on Samsung phones, which developers have removed the limit from, but 6 tabs is just horrible. You can't really browse the web efficiently with only 6 tabs. For me, anyway. I have like 20 open in Chrome right now. But that's just me. Now, there are a few problems. Besides that, going into any app and then exiting has absolutely no animation. You press back, and it just flashes, as you can tell. This is fixed by using Apex. When you use Apex, there's an actual animation. As you can tell, it fades, but with the stock HTC launcher, there's no animation pressing back or home. That's unfortunate. Also, the auto brightness. Whenever you're in a perfectly dark room, it's still about mid brightness. Auto brightness works really badly on this phone. It doesn't get super bright, and it never goes anywhere near dark. I have to set the brightness myself quite often using this widget. Also, the screen's dimmest isn't very dim at all. Now let's talk about texting. As I said, that there are problems with texting. First of all, the glass is too thick, as I said, so it's uncomfortable to text. Add on the problem with the vibration motor, where haptic is very uncomfortable, and it's just a bad experience. Plus, HTC's stock keyboard is not meant for a QHD screen. It takes up way too much space. It's non-customizable, you can't remove the arrows, and it's just not a very good keyboard in general. I did not enjoy using it. I immediately downloaded Ice Cream Sandwich keyboard I bought off the market with a few mods like Touch to Correct. And apparently its auto-correction is built into the framework. Doesn't work with the Ice Cream Sandwich keyboard for some reason, or the Jelly Bean one for that matter, which is quite annoying. These menus are never smooth scrolling through this. There's one Verizon modification that is absolutely horrible. This is not on any other phone, except for the Galaxy S3 on Verizon. And this is this notification. It's an ongoing notification, can't be cleared, and tells you Wi-Fi is off. I don't need to know Wi-Fi is off. I mean, maybe it's good for people with tiered data plans who don't know how to use their phones. It reminds them to turn Wi-Fi on, and I understand that, but there should be an option to turn it off. But there isn't. So this is just a terrible thing. Now, as you can see, if I turn on Wi-Fi, it disappears. You'd think that's a good thing, right? It's still there. And it tells you what Wi-Fi network you're on. Like I'd care. I just absolutely despise this. I try to keep my notifications clean at all times, and this has bothered me really badly. I understand keeping the Wi-Fi off notification for novice users who have tiered data, but why tell me that I have it on? Seriously. Verizon, I hope you fix that in an update for both this phone and the Galaxy S3. I beg you. Now there's a few more important things to talk about software in this case. Sense 4 did not use the standard Ice Cream Sandwich multitasking. They actually put in their own UI and their own app management and RAM management. Now their UI, it's pretty. It's smooth. It only shows 1.5 apps, but that's not a big deal if you just scroll. Yes, I prefer the old ICS one, but this one is very nicely designed. I like it. If you want to kill something, you just swipe it up. I can appreciate it. There's no problem with that. The problem is their app management is absolutely horrible. I'm browsing Twitter, for example, then I get a text message. I answer the text message, go back to Twitter, the app is dead. I'm playing music. I go answer a text message, go back into the music app. The music is still playing, but the actual app interface is dead. It has to reload and doesn't save my spot, so I have to go find the artist, the album again. It's absolutely horrible. I've actually had Skype die when I was expecting a very important call. I've had the messaging app die once a day, at least. And when I open the messaging app, it shows I have a new notification, but the phone never rang or showed a notification because it killed the messaging app. The app management is absolutely terrible. Ice Cream Sandwich app management is very good. It actually saves battery because it keeps stuff in RAM not being used. This keeps killing and killing and killing. And that wastes battery. Maybe that's why my battery life isn't very good on this phone. And the worst part is, it has a gigabyte of RAM. It has plenty of RAM for all your apps. I don't understand why they would do this. It ruins multitasking on this phone. Answering a text message and having to reload the Twitter app, which takes a little while on this phone, it's not the fastest phone, is just a tragedy. I absolutely despise it. HTC really needs to fix this on all of their phones. I've heard horror stories about the One X having the same issue. There's one thing I'd really like to praise Sense for. The lock screen is fantastic. You swipe the ring up, and it unlocks. Very, very easy. Also, you have access to 4 shortcuts. If I wanted to go straight into play music, just drag it into the ring. If I have a new text message, it shows up as a giant card, and I drag that into the ring, and it sends me straight to the text message. It's actually very fantastic. I really appreciate this lock screen. It's a lot better than stock Ice Cream Sandwich, so good job, HTC. One problem is that you can't customize those shortcuts unless you customize them in this dock. So if I wanted to have, for example, Twitter in that dock, but I wanted to have messaging in the lock screen, too bad. I'd have to keep it this way. So it's a minor annoyance, but it's not a big deal. I usually keep internet instead of something else in there, but it's not a huge deal. When you use Apex, you could set this up to whatever you want and then switch to Apex and customize your dog to your will. I actually do like the lock screen, though. It's very, very nice. So it's also customizable. You can put weather, you could put pictures. A very nice job, HTC. One thing that HTC did that's bad, but it's not at all their fault, is app associations. You'd have to choose apps to open things. Like, I have internet set up for web URLs. Even if that web URL is a Play Store link, it won't open the Play Store, it'll open the browser. This is a big problem because I like to open Play Store links off of tech sites. If they have a review or something, and they have a Play Store link, I can't download it like that. It's just a hassle. It's not HTC's fault, because this was due to an Apple lawsuit, but it's still very unfortunate that they had to dumb down the phone a little. So all you have to do is blame Apple. Nothing can be done about that, unless you somehow modify the phone, but that's not recommended. And last thing, the sensitivity on this phone is a little iffy. Sometimes screen touches are not recognized. That can also be fixed by a software update, so it's not a big deal for now. Now, where does this phone stand in Verizon's lineup? It's targeted toward mid-range because of its small screen, 4-inch QHD. It's not 720p. It's definitely built like a low-end, mid-end phone. It's just not good quality at all. However, the price is $200 with a $50 mail-in rebate, dropping it to $150 on contract. For 50 extra bucks, you can get a Galaxy S3. It's just, I don't see much of a point in getting this phone unless the price was dropped at least an extra $50. It's not a bad phone. It's especially good for normal consumers. They really wouldn't care for a lot of the things I'm nitpicking. But it's not a good phone for people who are looking for a high-end phone, and the price kind of betrays that. The price is a high-end price, while the phone is a very, very mid-end. So I think they should have priced it a lot lower, but that's just me. And it fits into Verizon's lineup quite well because they don't have very many good mid-end phones, and this is, in terms of hardware, it's a very solid phone. So I think it's a good choice if you can get a discount on it from other sites besides Verizon. However, if you're looking for a high-end phone, definitely do not get this. Get something like a Galaxy S3 or a Galaxy Nexus. You may be very disappointed with this phone if you expect too much from it. I went into this knowing it's going to be a mid-end phone, and while I was disappointed while using it, especially while texting, overall I did actually like this phone. It is a nice phone. It's a joy to use most of the time when it's not killing apps, because I do like Sense UI. And the phone looks amazing. I'll give it that. I love the design. HTC has been doing pretty well with design. And this is the first time I've ever experienced Verizon Wireless's network, especially with 4G LTE. Now, I live in an area about half an hour from San Francisco downtown, in a small city, and I get 4G LTE. In my area, almost no carriers have signal. Um, I think the only carrier to have signal is actually Verizon around here. AT&T signal is kind of iffy. Their HSPA Plus keeps dropping out. When it's stable, it's actually faster than Verizon's LTE here, but it's not stable very often, unfortunately. There's a tower around here that interferes with it. But LTE has been very stable for me here. At 6 megabits down, it's not very fast, but it's perfectly fine for streaming music from Google Play, and that's very enjoyable. I've had a lot of fun with Verizon's LTE. I have gotten some good results. For example, there's one that's 56 millisecond ping, 38 megabit down, and 20 megabit up. I think these are fantastic speeds. I think Verizon LTE is fantastic. I wish I could experience AT&T LTE to compare them, but I really can't at the moment. Compared to HSPA Plus overall, it's not a big difference in terms of web browsing and stuff when you consider download speed, but the ping really helps. It's a faster response time, and it makes web browsing quite fun. However, it's not too necessary over HSPA Plus. Still great to have, and I really enjoyed it. Plus, Verizon's call quality is pretty good. Even in low signal areas, call quality was pretty good from this phone. I went to vacation to a city called Groveland. AT&T had almost no signal there. Neither does Sprint or T-Mobile. Verizon is the only one that gets signal in that forest. And whenever somebody would try to call someone, they wouldn't have signal because my whole family's on AT&T. I was the only one that had signal. So props to Verizon. They have a good network. So that sums up my review for the Droid Incredible 4G LTE. It's a solid mid-range offering with not so good build quality but very solid hardware, bordering on the mid to high end, with a price that's a little too high for my taste. For most people, it would be a pretty good phone actually. It would perform well and serve people well. It's questionable how long it'll last, but hopefully it'll last you long enough to finish up a contract. I actually did enjoy using this phone despite all my nitpicking, and I think it's a good phone. However, if you're looking for something high-end and you're looking at this for the Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 processor, you should look somewhere else. This thing does not perform as well as high-end phones, and for such a price, I don't think it's worth it. If they lowered the price a little, I think it would be a lot better. If you're looking for a high-end phone, toss out an extra $50 and get yourself a Galaxy S3. That's what I'd do. But I'm a power user and I'd actually love a Galaxy S3. So I do think this is a good phone on a great network, and it should definitely be an option for most people. Battery life is good enough to last a day on light use, not medium use. With medium use it might die by 7 o'clock maybe, but with light use it'll definitely last you a day. And it would be a good phone for most people. I think most people would appreciate the nice camera, the decent sound quality, the nice screen, the nice processor, and the nice software. It's quite easy to use, and it's pretty refined for the most part. So if you like this phone, you should go out and get it. If you want something more high-end, you should go out and get something else. And for me, I'll be sticking with something a little more high-end from now on. So, this has been Dima with DroidDog.com with a review of the HTC DROID Incredible 4G LTE. Thanks for watching. Remember to go to our website and read the written review, like, subscribe, and you have a great day.